Day 33 of our Fresh Start series has come to an end, and we are going to talk about how far we've come since our last recap. So our last recap was on day 21, which was 11 days after hitting max level, and this is 12 days since that. So obviously a lot has changed. We now have a level 100 Death Knight on the account, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and go into the Hunter and see how far we have progressed our character in 12 days. We'll start by looking at the character itself. Now, we left off around a 708 eye level. We had pretty much just empowered Baleful gear. I believe we had the 725 from the Mythic Dungeon, and I believe we had the 705 Tier Helm from normal Cormrock. Pretty much everything else has changed with the exception of our crafted pieces and our legendary ring. Now, our legendary ring was still the 690 version, as we were still on elemental runes. We were finishing up elemental runes and moving into tomes. I believe that the day 21 recap was on a Wednesday or a Thursday. We were still waiting to do any of the Hellfire Citadel bosses because we didn't want to miss out on a tome loot for the week. And since we weren't on tomes yet, any boss that we looted, we would be ineligible for the tome when we actually got back to them, because we had already looted them once for the week. So we managed to finish that out, probably by Friday, I think. We finished out the quest line, we got on tomes, we did LFR, we got 10 tomes that week. This last week, or the reset that we are about to leave, it's Tuesday, and we've got the new reset coming up, we got 7. So it's really unlikely that we'll finish that this coming reset. It'll actually be another one before, it's actually impossible for us to get it this reset. We'll have to get it in the next one. So we've got a little bit of ways to go on the ring. So this is going to be a static 715 for the time being. Not much we can do about it. But since day 21, what have we upgraded? Well, we've got the tier chest off of normal Manaroth, and it went Warforged, so that was pretty nice. Cloak is still the cloak we got off Kazakh on like day 1 of being level 100. Now, this last reset, we managed to clear bottom floor of Hellfire Citadel and Heroic. So we cleared Assault all the way to Gorfiend with the same group. It was awesome. I got Bracers, which went Heroic Warforged. Now, Verse and Mastery are really bad stats. Not really anything that we want. Obviously, it got Speed on it, which is kind of whatever. But it was a Heroic Warforged, so 721 over my 705s was a no-brainer. This is purely here because of the huge eye level boost that it gives us. And the gloves are kind of in the same boat. Mastery, Multi-Strike. Multi-Strike's good, Mastery not so much. We had perfectly itemized gauntlets, so really we just went for the 10 eye level here. And we lost some crit. The ring we picked up, we got a little bit of our crit back. This came from a Mythic Dungeon. So this replaced our 705. Again, it was just another 10 eye level boost. The haste not doing much for us, but crit with a socket, and it was a 715. I couldn't really turn this down. This is going to be probably the best thing that we're going to find for a while, until we can either find a better one through Mythics, or until we can maybe craft another piece. So the last piece that we got was an heirloom trinket from one of our Mythic dungeons. Obviously this is the agility version. It does a damage proc and it increases your damage against demons for a short period of time. This is good against a handful of bosses in Hellfire Citadel. Ultimately the demon thing doesn't help you anywhere else unless you just happen to be fighting demons in a dungeon or whatever. The damage proc isn't bad. It makes up a decent portion of your damage, and just having a 715 trinket was better than the 705 Baleful trinket that I had, which was just Agi and Multi-Strike. Now, this coming week, we're probably going to try and push our way into Heroic Manaroth. We're at 714 eye level. I think there's a good chance that we can actually get into some groups. If we can, we're going to use every single bonus roll we get this week, so we might end up killing Heroic Manaroth 3 times. With the intent to either get the bracers or the bow off of Manaroth. If we can get the bow off of Manaroth, we'll increase the eye level of our weapon by 10. It'll be a 725 once Valor increase. If it goes Warforged, we'll get even more out of it. But what this does is it removes one of our crafted pieces from our unique Warlords Crafted 3, which means that we can craft another one. And it's likely that we would replace an item like this, which is a 705 belt. We can make this a 725 if we crafted a 6 of 6 wayfaring belt. So our goal will be to get 4-piece this week, if we can. That's our goal every week. And if possible, replace this with a non-crafted item so that we could boost the eye level of one of our other items, likely getting us to about 716 if we could manage to pull that off. So gear-wise, that's about it. Garrison-wise, we have since gotten all of our buildings to level 3. We were waiting on our herb garden and our lunar fall excavation due to achievements that were gating us. The Death Knight that we leveled ended up helping with the Drainic Seeds. Because you start your herb garden at level 96 and because you start your mine much earlier than that, you've probably got your mine to level 2 or, you know, at least level 1 before you even get your herb garden up and running. So you've got a little bit of a head start on the Drainic Stone Collector, and I believe you also get more Drainic Stones from a level 2 mine than you get from a level 2 herb garden. You know what I'm saying here. You get more stones from a level 2 mine than you get seeds from a level 2 herb garden. So this achievement in total took about 17 days after hitting max level. And I believe this one would have taken 19 to 20 if we had only done it on one character. We sped it up by getting the DK up and running and getting her herb garden picked so that we could add some more Drainic Seeds to this achievement. So 17 days after max level is kind of a lot. In the conclusion video, I'm going to talk more about why I think it's ridiculous that it takes that long to get some of these buildings. Essentially, I'm on the last portion of the legendary questline that took the entire expansion to do. And I managed to get onto that by day 12 of being max level. And yet, getting a level 3 lunar fall excavation site takes 17 days. It's kind of crazy to me that there's no catch-up mechanic for the garrison buildings. The barracks was another building that we still didn't have at level 3. We needed to send out patrol missions, and during the early weeks of building our character, there were many situations where we needed to pool our garrison resources to build these buildings. The level 3 barracks takes 1,200 garrison resources, so if I'm sending out missions like Candy, then I don't have garrison resources to spend on upgrading these buildings. So it ended up that I was just pooling a lot and not sending out as many missions. And the level 3 barracks comes from, guess what? Completing missions. So the level 3 barracks is important because it gives you 25 out of 25 followers, which means that you can send out more missions each day. It means that you can have a bigger pool of ability counters. It means that you can have more treasure hunters, more scavengers, which means if you have 5 gold missions and you send out your first 3 and you're out of treasure hunters, well, that's kind of unfortunate. You want to be able to have more. Not to mention you're going to have people that are working, right? We've got Fiona in the herb garden, we've got Goldbean the Skinner in the barn, we've got Landrester working the mine, we've got working the enchanter's hut, we've got Artificer Ramul working the gem boutique. So we're taking up 5 of our guys that are just working in our buildings. So only having access to 20 at a level 2 barracks makes it so you only have 15 followers, and this can be pretty constricting. Once you get to 25, basically it's like you've got your workers and then you have your full roster of 20 guys. So getting to level 3 is important, but getting your buildings upgraded is also important. It's really just a choice there. You could keep sending out missions and you could build this pretty early on, but other things are going to start to suffer. So all of our buildings are now level 3. We have started doing elite trapping. It took, I want to say it took about 17 or 18 days to get the level 3 barn. The achievement for the barn requires that you place 150 work orders in the barn. 125. So getting to 125 work orders is basically, you can finish 6 per day, right? So 6 per day doesn't go very far toward 125. If you had multiple characters putting in 6 work orders a day, you're doubling your speed. But since we only did it on 1, we can't really make this any faster. What I ended up doing was buying rush orders from Sergeant Crawler outside so that we could immediately complete 5 of the barn work orders. Now what this did was it pretty much ruined me for garrison resources. So I spent gold to get ogre caches so that I could buy these rush orders, and then I was out of gold and I was out of garrison resources, and I actually couldn't build the level 3 barn. So I was trying to get it early, and you can certainly speed this up if you have the garrison resources and the gold to bump into it, so you can get the level 3 earlier, but I ended up just putting myself in a corner where I got the achievement, but I couldn't quite get the building leveled up. So, you know, you kind of have to just feel it out, and if you have the excess, go ahead and rush it so that you can get to level 3. The level 3 is when you're able to trap elite beasts, and that's when you start getting the Savage Blood. And now the Savage Blood is what you can sell in the auction house. Economies are going to be different, but this is definitely a way to start making some serious gold. You're basically going to earn 6 Savage Blood per character that you're trapping on, and my recommendation is that you have a barn on every single one of your characters. The 160 traps that I got took me about an hour. I was out there with some other people that were also trapping. You can often find trap groups in the pre-made section under custom. I'm just going to see if there's one up. Right, so we got elite wolf trapping and elite wolf trapping. So, you know, 5 people per group. You could join this one, and you're just going to go out there and you're going to get traps. They're not that bad to solo. Honestly, my 680 DK can solo them. It's not fast by any means, but I went out there last night on my DK and soloed some wolves so that I could get my barn going for just a short period of time. Like, I went out and I got 20 traps. You know, maybe that took me 15 minutes to do. And 20 traps will get me through at least 3 days. So this character is pretty much where we want it to be. He's got the trading post, he's got Mage Tower to port around, he's got the barn earning him money, he's got an enchanting hut that will start making him money as we start to sell our enchanting materials. We've got jewel crafting hut getting us gold from our daily every day. This character is to the point where it's just maintenance. We're still continuing to do Tanan for the time being because we're trying to get our DK geared out, but we've stopped assaulting every single objective. We now only do the quests in Lion's Watch and call it a day. And that nets us about 8,000 Apexes a day, a little bit more. And as we do the other objectives, let's say we go out to the Iron Front to get a Wargron harness, we're going to get a little percent completion while doing that. We're going to kill some rares while we're out there. So then the next time I get Wargron harness, I go out there, I'm already at 50%, I kill a Wargron, and, you know, and then I just go ahead and finish it up and get the extra Apexes. But in general, I'm making somewhere close to 10,000 Apexes each day, and every other day I'm able to buy an empowered fragment and send it to the DK. Now once the DK is geared out and fully empowered Baleful, we'll stop doing Tanan altogether. Our reputation standings with the Hand of Prophet and Order of the Awakened are max exalted, so we can buy anything that those guys have to offer, and we are pretty much done with Tanan. Now this character has actually gotten pretty lucky in Tanan lately. I've been killing the big 4, the rare spawns that are on a bit of a longer timer. You've got Death Talon up in Ruins of Krenak, you've got Doom Roller out by Hellfire Citadel, you've got Terror Fist over by the Iron Front, and you've got Vengeance up in the Temple of Shinar. Now each of those has a chance to drop you a mount, they can drop you a Medallion of the Legion, they can drop you, well, they're gonna drop you oil. But the Medallion of the Legion is where the gold is at. Those sell for about 4,000 gold on my server, so this character and my DK have each, in the last reset, between the two of them have found about 4. So I've made about 12,000 off of medallions alone. So you can go out there and you can, you know, just farm those if you want. If you want your daily maintenance to be just that, go ahead, go out there, go to a spawn point, go into looking for more, and just, you know, search for Doom. Right? No Doom Roller groups. Search for Vengeance, you know? And just go through the bosses until you find something. Vengeance up, right? So then you would join this and you would hope that you could make it there in time. This has been active for 3 minutes, so it's likely that Vengeance is already dead. But you can just go out there and farm those. It probably won't take you more than 10-15 minutes to do that. We had gotten our daily maintenance down to about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, doing all of the garrison, doing all of the Tanan missions, and coming back. So in total, the DK and the Hunter is gonna be about an hour and a half daily maintenance. And then we're putting all of our extra time earlier in the week into raiding on the Hunter, and, you know, later in the week we're doing Cataclysm raids on the DK. So we're just using our time and making sure that we're playing the right character at the right time during the week to get the max benefit. And really what I mean by that is that the pugs for Hellfire Citadel are much better on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday than they are over the weekend. So if you're looking to get some gear like we are on our Hunter, the best time for us to do that is early on in the week, right after a fresh reset. So let's go ahead and look at the Death Knight, and we can see how far we've come on that character. Now the Death Knight was created and leveled in bits. So we got it to level 91, we got the epics on it, we'd let it get some rested, we'd come back every once in a while, we'd get it some levels, we'd find some treasures. But over the weekend, I'd say about day 30, day 31, we ended up just pushing all the way to 100. We got our level 3 garrison up and going, we've got a Lunar Fall Inn built, we've got a barn that's already level 3, we've got our barracks to level 2, this is going to be the expensive one. Of course, we've got our mine and our herb garden to level 3. Once you have the achievement, it's unlocked account-wide. So getting these to level 3, we didn't have to go through that whole hassle of finding all the Draenic seeds and all of the Draenic stone. We basically just come in, and these buildings are really cheap to get to level 3. At level 3, I think they're like 300 gold, or no, maybe it's like 100 gold and 100 garrison resources. It's really nothing. So every alt that you get past the first one is just going to get immediately to level 3 on these and start cashing in on the large amount of resources that they have to provide. On this character, we went with the Gem Boutique again. Obviously, this is the #1 choice for making gold. The daily is just too much gold to pass up. It doesn't matter if you're a jewel crafter on any of your alts, put down a Gem Boutique, do the daily. The mine should give you enough ore to keep this going. And then the Alchemy Lab was the third choice for us because we are an alchemist. This character is an alchemist and an herbalist. My other DK on my main account is the exact same combo, and I had pretty good luck finding Fellblight while in Tanan, and that was kind of my same thought process, was that I would get in Tanan, and as I was doing the dailies in Tanan, I would pick herbs and have a better chance at picking up some Fellblight and making some extra money. This character has earned 20 Fellblight. I believe 13 of that came from Kazakh, and the rest has come from herbalism, and that's only been in about 3 days of doing Tanan. So it's decent, and I don't go out of my way to pick herb. I don't fly around and look for herbs. It's just if I happen across it and it's convenient, I pick it. I got a 5 stack of Fellblight off of one plant that I picked, and a couple of double stacks. And it just goes to show you that even at 22 alchemy, or rather 130 herbalism, your likelihood of getting Fellblight is the same. So you don't even need this to be high. You don't need to have good skill. You just need to go out there and pick. As you saw with leatherworking, when I did it on my Hunter, it really doesn't give you that much benefit because there's not a lot of stuff in Tanan to skin, and it's not convenient while you're doing your dailies. In fact, the only items that you're going to be, the only monsters that you're going to be skinning are outside of the bonus objectives. So unless you go out there and just spend time skinning, you're never going to just happen to get Fellblight through skinning. So herbalism, at least you're flying around, there's herbs everywhere. You can just pick them up while you're doing your questing. So that's kind of where we are on this character in terms of garrison. In terms of power, what we did with this character was we had a bunch of plate stuff from our call to arms queues that we did on our Hunter. We had a bunch of baleful pieces from doing our naval missions on our Hunter, and we sent all of that over to the Death Knight. So when she hit level 100, she basically had a full set of gear that was baleful. Now the exceptions to this are neck, rings, cloak, and trinket. These took actually going out into Tanan, earning Apexes, and purchasing these on this character. We're still sitting at our 4 of 6 stage weapons. She leveled with these. We created these before we even boosted her to 90. And we have put... The last weekly event was the Apexes event, where you just had to go out to Tanan or anywhere and do 5 bonus objectives, and that gave 500 Valor. So I put 1 Valor upgrade into each of these weapons. I'm tossing around the idea of using our Fellblight that we're collecting last reset and this coming reset, and putting another level on this. It'll help with Kata raids, it'll help with Tanan clear speed. I really doubt we'll ever take these to 6 of 6. This character is not going to raid. We're not going to try and get it geared. If we were, then we would go all the way with these. We would finish out leveling our trinket. But this character is what it's going to look like if you just want if you just want an extra tune to farm you gold, do Kata raids. You're just looking for that sweet spot where it's not taking you too long to do these things, but that you're not spending a bunch of money on an alt for no reason. And you can kind of see that in our empowered pieces. We didn't look for perfect itemization on these. We just empowered things that we found. Like Verse Multi. A lot of our pieces have versatility on them, and you'll see that they're empowered to 695. Verse Multi. We actually have like 13% versatility. Verse Mastery. So basically I was looking for pieces that had Verse, and then any combination of Mastery, Multi, or Haste. Obviously the Crit Mastery, I was looking for at least one stat on each piece of gear that was good for our spec. And we've got about 6 more items that we need to empower, so between the Death Knight doing Tanan and the Hunter doing Tanan, it's basically like 2 Empower Day fragments every other day. So in about 6 days, we should be done. Not too much to say about this character. Like I said, it's just a gold earner for us. The inn will get us the treasure missions. We had the inn on the Hunter, if you'll remember, before we tore it down to put the barn up. So he's barn and trading post. This character is Lunarfall, inn, and barn. The barn is obviously the big money maker, and the trading post is great for your main characters so that you can trade in resources. Like you can trade in your garrison resources for ore or herbs. It's just got a lot of good trade-in value for a character that might be capped on garrison resources. But the inn gets you treasure missions at your mission table, and it also allows you to recruit followers, so you can recruit a treasure hunter every single week and hope that they proc something like Grease Monkey or Scavenger, so that you have these characters that are basically just trifectas. We didn't actually get to the level 3 building. The requirement for that is that we do 10 of the missions that are available in there, or 10 of the quests that are available. It's called Stay a While and Listen. So we did 8 of them on our Hunter before we tore it down. If I had thought about it better, I should have completed all 10 before I tore it down, and just gotten the achievement so that this character would be able to buy the level 3 instantaneously. Unfortunately, we didn't do that. So the DK has gotten a bunch of duplicates. We got Aurelius, we got Aviana's request, we got For the Birds. The only one that we've gotten that the Hunter hadn't completed yet was Time Lost Vikings, and that was yesterday. That puts us to 9 total. So today I'm hoping that one of the quests that's in there is different from the quest that my Hunter completed, and not one of the repeats from my DK. So hopefully we'll be able to finish that today, and we'll get her Lunarfall in to level 3. Her followers are still a little gimpy. I don't even think that we have 20 yet. No, we're still at 15. So ultimately, to get this character to where we want her, we need to go out and we need to find more followers. We need to start recruiting every week. And she's going to have the treasure missions, so we want to have as many treasure hunters as humanly possible so that we can maximize our gold gains from the missions that we do each day. And her daily maintenance will eventually become, once she's done in Tanan, her daily maintenance will literally be coming into the garrison, doing the mission table, doing the naval yard, and then picking the herbs, doing the mine, jewel crafting daily, and then, you know, once every 3 days we pick up all of our, you know, once every 2 to 3 days we pick up all of our work orders and we put in a whole bunch of new ones. And then we either sell those products or we make something with them. So this character has done, let's see, this character was able to do all of the Cataclysm raids, which is great for gold. So she earned her 7,000 gold this week. We were doing we'll probably continue to do our daily heroic. The garrison resources are really good for us. The valor doesn't hurt. Like I said, we're not going to go for like 2 of 2 valor upgrades on every piece of gear. But I would like to get my weapons valor upgraded, and maybe even the trinket, which can't be valor upgraded, actually. So really, it's just going to be weapons. And then if we get some more valor and we just happen across it from doing the weekly, the Apexis events, or whatever it is that we're doing on this character, if we happen to get some more, then we'll toss it on, you know, a random piece of gear that's good for us. But ultimately, this character is just going to be a gold farmer. That's their purpose. And getting an alt to this point has only taken about 5 days. So with about a week's worth of effort, you can get an alt to the point where they're just earning you gold 100%. And you know, the amount of time that you're going to spend on them per week is probably like sub 3 hours for the entire week, and you're going to earn, you know, a huge amount of gold off of them. So I think that's about it for our day 33 recap. We have talked about the main character. Legendary quest line is almost done. We have gotten the main character to the point where it's just maintenance, farming valor, doing raids each week. The time input on our main character is even pretty limited right now. It leaves a lot of space open for whatever pastime you want to pick up. Do you want to pick up archaeology? Do you want to pick up mount farming? Do you want to pick up pet battles? You know, PvP. There's lots of options out there for you to do with your free time. Now that we've gotten our character established, we've got it geared, we've worked through the quest line, we're basically just waiting for each weekly reset to happen so that we can continue working on the things that we want to increase and we want to progress. You can also just continue to make more and more alts. The alt process, I mean, once you get to this point, you can start spending money on heirlooms. You can level your characters extremely fast with heirlooms, and just get to this point and keep investing your money into more and more garrisons. By the time you get to about your 5th garrison, you're going to have so much gold that you're not even going to feel it when you have to dump like 20k into a garrison of your next alt. You're not even going to notice it. You're just going to have so much gold, you're going to be swimming in it. It just won't even affect you. So we've got the DK. It's our first alt that's going. Our main character is getting pretty close to upper tier heroics. My hope is that we can kill heroic Archimon this week, so that we can say that within about 35 days of playing WoW, you could clear heroic Archimon. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of luck involved with getting gear. There's a little luck involved with, you know, progressing your character. Well, progressing your character is pretty static. As long as you're doing the things that we have done, your eye level is going to increase. The tier pieces you could get super unlucky with. You might not be sitting on 2-piece like I am. But the 2-piece that I have is also normal, which means that they're only about 5 item levels higher than a baleful piece would be. So getting yourself into full baleful really doesn't take that long. Getting your eye level to about 708, 711, 712 should be pretty easy without even getting any pieces of tier. Just getting into lower portions of heroics and picking up those pieces that most people don't want because they're poorly itemized. Just getting yourself some eye level, getting into those mythic dungeons, and getting a little bit lucky. But killing heroic Archimon would be nice this week. So that is definitely going to be our goal. To at least say that we've completed all of the heroic content. Mythic is a whole nother beast. We never even hoped to get into a Mythic raid. If you are looking to get into Mythic ratings before Legion, certainly doing what we've done is the quickest way to get to that point. There are some Mythic pugs. Otherwise, you'd just be, you know, trying to get into a guild that's already clearing some Mythics. But we're not going to go into that because this is about recapping what we have done, and I think we've done that pretty well. If you want to watch any of my past broadcasts, they are available on my Twitch channel. The description will hold the information to that. And I think that is about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, if you've been following the recaps, I appreciate it. I hope you didn't mind the big gap between the last one and this one. We're going to follow this one up right pretty much within a couple of days with the conclusion of the full series, and we'll talk about all of this all over again. We'll talk about the leveling process. My hope is that if you like watching the daily recaps, you can basically watch all the way through to this and you'll get most of the information. If you're coming in late to the series, you could just watch the conclusion and get most of the information that came from all of the other daily recaps. So that's my hope. The conclusion video is going to be extremely long, and we're going to talk about each individual building. We're going to talk about the legendary quest line. We're going to talk about how we progressed our character, the leveling process, you know, how we went about it. So it's going to be pretty extensive. I hope you're coming out to the channel and checking out when I'm live. I'm live usually every day by 9:30 a.m. EST. That's the goal. We are shifting into Diablo after this series. So on the 29th, we won't have WoW content anymore. We will have Diablo content. I will be making some videos for the YouTube, but mostly it's just going to be play. If I come up with a good reason to make a video, then I will. It's unlikely that I'll do build videos. There's a lot of people already doing that. I got a couple of ideas. We'll see how that goes. I've also got a time walking video coming up for World of Warcraft. That's not going to happen until the time walking event for BC. So that video you could look for maybe by the weekend of the 7th, May 7th. Maybe later. I want to get a lot of good footage for that and put together a good team. But anyway, I hope you guys have been liking the recap videos. Come check me out when I'm live. Thank you for all the follows you guys have thrown me. And I will see you guys out there.